I'm encouraged that there is an effort, spurred by the United States and backed by President Trump personally in many respects and his direct negotiators, to try to bring the war to an end. I'm not encouraged by Moscow's response. Vladimir Putin just continues to reiterate that his goals are the maximalist objectives he's held all along, which essentially denies independence to Ukraine. In my view, Russia is actually more vulnerable now than I think most people realize. They run out of money in their what's called their National Welfare Fund sometime next year. That's what they're diverting to keep their military-industrial complex going. They've taken losses that are greater in killed and wounded than the U.S. took in all of World War II. Again, think about this. And this is we were in all of the different theaters of war at that time. 1.2 million killed and wounded. That is not sustainable. And they're starting to see the challenges in recruiting. I think there is an opportunity here, especially in this case. This is about Europe. This is a really key moment. If they can, in their meeting in mid-December, finally approve using the frozen Russian reserves in European banks, somewhere around $200 to $250 billion equivalent, as collateral for Euroclear bonds that they give to Ukraine, essentially cash. It's a loan, but it's zero interest and they don't have to repay it until Russia pays them reparations. That actually is a game changer. We've heard a lot of game changers before. I've never bought into those, but M1 tanks, the F-16, the multiple launch rocket system, Army tactical missile system, all of these, they are great additional enablers, but they're not game changers. $200 billion or even 100 billion euros of money for Ukraine would be a game changer. It solves their fiscal and economic problems for a couple of years, and they could double the production of drones from 3.5 million per year. That's what they're doing right now. By the way, the U.S. produces all 300,000 per year right now. From 3.5 million per year to 7 million. And among these are the most sophisticated drones in the world. These are better than what we have, frankly, elsewhere in the world. And they now even have a long-range surface-to-surface cruise missile that they built that has got a much longer range, 3,000 kilometers, and a much bigger warhead that then does the Tomahawk cruise missile that we've been dithering about whether or not to provide to them. So that enables them to put more pressure every night on Russia. They've been going after their refineries, their fuel storage locations. Russia, meantime, is trying to turn out the lights and turn off the heat in Ukraine. Terrible. I'd love to see this come to an end, which is what is animating the White House without question. But I don't see the flexibility in Vladimir Putin, and therefore what should be done is to enable Ukraine to get Putin to a point where he realizes that his forces need a cessation of hostilities and then might actually come to the bargaining table. By the way, then, to make sure that it's a durable agreement, there should be absolutely ironclad security guarantees, Article 5-like, or even better, because Article 5 says, you know, attack on one is an attack on all, but you get to choose how you respond. This should be very, very clear to Ukraine and to Russia so that there's an actual deterrent aspect to this, and there's no question about it. We did not do enough in the wake of the 2014 occupation of Crimea and seizure of the southeastern part of Ukraine, and that's why Putin had the confidence to resume and do it even bigger, of course, with the full-on invasion of 2022.